Welcome back to Nutmegs and VAR. Today we talk about Manchester United, aka Team Kubwa. It's a struggle right now to indicate whether it is still the biggest team in EPL, but in terms of value, we can't argue about that. In accountancy, they say numbers don't lie, so don't argue with that. But when it comes to the pitch, that's where the story is a bit different. So these are my thoughts as a very frustrated Manchester United fan. Listen in, let me know what you think. Even from the rival fans, sometimes you see your neighbor suffering. We say that in Swahili, ukiona mwenzio akinyolewa, lako kichwa litie maji. So sometimes the things we go through should be lessons for others. Maybe not to fall through the trap, but know what to avoid. So since Sir Alex Ferguson left in 2013, I believe, literally 12 years down the line, we have never stabilized. We have never gone back to where we belong in terms of the form, in terms of management, in terms of infrastructure. Everything is just going down the drain. And it's such a pity for such a big club to be going through what we've been through. Several managers have passed us by, very promising, but the moment they come to Manchester United, nothing happens. Same to players. We have signed so many big names, and sometimes I feel like when a player knows that Manchester United is interested in them, the media helps them to inflate their value. So United ends up paying so much more for a player. And of course, they come and the money is guaranteed and they have nothing to fight for anymore. So a player that was fighting in another club and scoring goals comes to United and nothing happens. It's quite interesting because sometimes even players that have come to United and they've not done so well, when they end up leaving, wherever they go, they do so well. Take Scott. He's done so well in Napoli. In fact, last season, he was their player of the year, of the season. And you're wondering, what is going on? Because in United, this was actually a sub. He could not even make the first 11. And sometimes you wonder, is it the player? Is it the coach? Even talking about the coach, we changed our title to head coach as opposed to manager. And that is also bringing issues because I feel like the head coaches now feel like some authority has been taken away from them. And from even the latest with Amorim's comment about the autonomy and all those things, and we know how that story has ended, but then we need to go back to the drawing board. They say that it's only a fool who does the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So at what point are the owners going to go to the drawing board and say, wait, something here is not working? It's been 12 years. Clearly, it's not working. At this point, you know how we say, mafans ndo wanaumia. The banter, like what we go through after those matches, after the draws, after the losses. I was even trying, someone was telling me the other day that we lost a match and I was like, no, we didn't lose, it was a draw. And then the person asked, so which team were you playing against? And then I say Burnley, and a draw against Burnley is a loss for Manchester United. And I see where the person is coming from, but what to do? That's where we are right now. And it's very frustrating. And I was just looking at the data and the records. And in terms of recruitment and financial, I will call it financial waste, because it shows that we have spent 1.5 billion pounds to buy players. What do we have to show for that? Absolutely nothing. We are beaten even by a team, or rather the draw that looks like a loss, a team that is 20th on the log. So now when a team is coming to play United, they know that that is their opportunity to get points. It's very unfortunate because, as we call it, Old Trafford used to be the theatre of dreams. But now it's no longer our theatre of dreams. Maybe it's a theatre of dreams for the other teams because they know when they go to Old Trafford, they are able to collect points. It's very unfortunate that that is where we find ourselves as a team. It's very frustrating. And we have seen cases where we have overpaid for players. Of course, the media does not help because immediately Manchester United is interested in a player, the price just is inflated and it's crazy. So we got people like Anthony and they came in and there was nothing to show for it. We have gotten very expensive players. Sancho cost us a lot of money from Dortmund. We have gotten, Rashford is now at Barcelona, but he's there on loan. We are trying to send players out on loan because the wage bill is just crazy. And we spent so much money from these people and we cannot get anything out of it. Some of them are out there on loan, but we are still paying a portion of their wages, which is very unfortunate. And I also wonder then, sometimes, whoever handles these negotiations on behalf of the club, do they have the club's interest at heart? How do they go about agreeing to these, crazy contracts that make it impossible for us even to release a player? There are players that we no longer want, but we can't release them because we are paying them too much and no club is willing to take them at that price. And everything is just against us. The wage bill has been crazy. And I think sometime I heard that now they were releasing, the supporting staff. And at that point, I think Bruno even offered to pay some people, which is very unfortunate for a club like Manchester United. I will not even talk about the venue itself.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. Everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know But you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is oduorjigero.co.ke. And now, back to programming.
We have been made fun of the leaking roofs, the state of the infrastructure, the state of the seats, the state of the canteen. I mean, we have gone low. This is low. If the owners are proud of where we are right now, then perhaps we have the wrong owners at the helm. But they're the ones with the big monies. I think it's just a matter of them coming to the realization that perhaps they are good in business, but not in football management. But when they get that, when they get that football director, do they give the autonomy for this person to be able to run the football side of the business? Because at the end of the day, that is what brings people to the pitch to watch the game. And that is what enables the sale of season tickets, to be able to generate the finances that are needed to pay these players and to run the rest of the logistics. So I don't know. At this moment, I don't know exactly what the plan is because they don't seem to communicate. I think there's a time that we could see, those banners with Glazer out, and then the new shareholder came in and that for some reason disappeared, but we don't see the issues being addressed. For me, that's one of the frustrating things. And then we were a club that used to pride themselves in making sure that our academy graduates are able to graduate into the first team. And that way we are able to save ourselves lots of monies that are currently being spent to buy players. That program needs to be revisited because that was actually a structure that worked for United. That's where people like Wayne Rooney came from. And we cannot dismiss that. Even in the current crop, we have people like Kobe Mainoo who came through those flanks. And for some reason, it becomes a place where if you come from the academy, number one, you're not paid well enough. And then you see people that are bought with big monies doing nothing. And for some reason, there's nothing to push for again. It's something that I don't see how we can't see that we have such a great resource that we can use to feed into the first team. And also in circumstances like now where, AFCON is going on and we have players out, that used to be the opportunity for those under 21s to come up, the under 18s to come up and to show that there's something to give to the club. So at this point, the frustration is real. And I don't know about the rest of you, Manchester United fans. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating right now to be a Manchester United fan. In fact, the games that play late in the night, nowadays, it's not even worth waiting for it because you're literally waiting for heartbreak. You can't sleep after that. In the morning, you have to wake up and go to work. It's not worth it. And I believe that we have seen lesser, purchasing of tickets because people don't want to come and they're not sure what they're going to get. You don't know whether the team feels like showing up today or they don't. And for some reason, it does not affect them. I read something some time back about one of the former players that was commenting about the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and he was saying that when you drew or lost a match, you were not even supposed to be seen smiling. You were not supposed to even be seen laughing. Like, how can you? You have just dropped points. What gives you the audacity? How can you be happy? What are you happy about? But that also comes from a sense of ownership. I do not see the current crop of players taking ownership of the pride of the club. And maybe that is one of the concerns, because now we have gone commercial. We are paying people rather than having people in the club that are passionate about the club to show that they can give everything for the club, leave everything on the pitch for the club. It's very unfortunate that we're in this situation. So every team knows that when they're playing against United, they can come and collect points. Over the weekend, we are going to face Brighton in the FA Cup. Brighton, I'm sure they feel like we are progressing. That is the level that Manchester United has dropped to. It is unfortunate. It is saddening. Something needs to happen. And I hope it will happen. Something different needs to happen. I see the two people that are, running high in terms of the next coach. They're talking about Ole. They're talking about Michael Carrick. At the end of the day, if something doesn't change, even them, they will go through the same thing that the previous coaches have been frustrated about. I think one of the coaches that left actually said that Manchester United needs an overhaul. Everything needs to change. And perhaps that is what is needed. I don't know what it's going to take for the club, for ownership to do this, but something needs to shift. Thank you for watching this episode. Looking forward to your comments. What do you think? What are your pain points if you're a Manchester United fan? But thank you for watching Nutmegs and Va. Over to the next session. Thank you.